Hey guys, welcome to the Clubhouse. I'm Billy Jackson, and today's video is going to be continuing my top 10 sitcom list with number 7, Home Improvement. I love this show, and I'm binge watching something right now. As soon as I'm done with it, Home Improvement's my next binge, because every few years I binge watch this show, the entire series. I love every episode. A lot of fun, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm an electrician by trade, and my dad was an electrician by trade, and so I've grown up, around tools and the whole work site stuff. It's been my thing all my life. So here comes this show, and it came out in 1991 and lasted till 1999. So throughout the whole 90s we had Home Improvement, and I loved every minute of it. I couldn't wait to get home fast enough just to watch the show every night. I remember growing up, I used to love it. But anyway, Tim Allen, I love his comedy. I'm not a big fan of his stand-up, but I love him in this. I love he plays, Tim, and his name's Tim, but he doesn't play the comedian Tim. He plays, Tim, the tool man, Taylor, who owns his own, Tool Time show. And, and him and Al, which is his, co-host of the show, their interaction is what I really loved about the show. Of course, I love the whole family thing, and the kids were funny and great, and the wife was funny, so everybody had their own development in the show, and I really liked that and appreciated that of the show. But, Tim Allen's humor is so great because it's all about how bad he is at doing stuff, and that's kind of like the story of my life. I try to do the greatest things and end up, just it doesn't work out sometimes. Except for these videos, he's been working out great. But anyway, I love how he would just totally he was just a total klutz, even though he's super smart, and knew how to build things and, make things with more power and all that stuff. He's really smart when it came to like cars and building stuff, but he'd always take it to the next level. And that just reminds me of so many people I know that would, I can fix this, but if I add this to it, it'll be even better, and it never works out. And it never works out for Tim. And each show had its own thing he tried to do, but would always screw it up. And it was just full of hilarity. But I love the whole family dynamic and everything. But him and Al on the show interacting, I don't know. I'm a fan of Al. I think he's hilarious, just because of how he bounced stuff off of Tim, and Tim bounced stuff back to him. I thought their interaction was really great. Their chemistry was awesome on screen, in my opinion. But I love Tim Allen in movies that he's done, like Galaxy Quest. If you haven't seen Galaxy Quest, it is hilarious, and it's a spoof, not a spoof movie, but it's kind of a what's the word for it? They're kind of not making fun of Star Trek, but it's kind of Star Trek-esque, but like Star Trek as a comedy. That's what Galaxy Quest is. And if you love Tim Allen and you love his humor, that movie is just filled with it. So I definitely suggest, even though I know this is a Home Improvement, I'm taking a little, side note, bam, to Galaxy Quest. And watch that, because you'll love it if you love Tim Allen humor. But anyway, that being said, I really love this show, and I can't wait to start binge watching it. I think I got a couple more seasons of what I'm watching now, so in a couple of weeks I'll be back on Home Improvement and looking forward to it. So I couldn't wait for it, and even though I'll rewatch it all the time, and some people might say that 7's kind of low on a list, but out of 100 some sitcoms, it had to be somewhere, and it took me forever to place Home Improvement. It was in top 5, but once I started thinking about it and some of the other shows that I really like, it bumped it down a little bit. So just know that Home Improvement was in the top 5. It was actually number 3 on my list originally, but it got bumped down by some things that are just greater once I started thinking about it. I just don't throw these lists together for y'all. I really think about it and write them down, and I'll scribble them out, and I'll remake them, and I've done this list like 5 separate times. Look, here are my notes, if you don't believe me. Here's my notes on the whole sitcom list. So I really took my time and tried to, place these accordingly. And Home Improvement came in number 7. That's where it is. But it's still great to me, and it's still a 10 in my opinion. All of these are. So that being said, what do you think about Home Improvement? Is it one of your favorite comedies of all time, or sitcoms I should say? Let me know in the comments below where it sits on your list. Let's discuss, let's talk about it. But anyway, remember to like my videos and subscribe to my channel, and as always, make yourself happy every day. And the only way to do that is to remember, the only thing stopping you is you stopping.